One of the things that if you've never joined a Learning Designer Pro webinar before, we are very much pedagogically orientated, interested in making sure that everything that we do in terms of learning technology has a reason, has a purpose, a rationale for what happens in the classroom. And so one of the things which we're very interested in looking at the moment is making sure that what we do and the ideas that we give you are mapped to universal design for learning, because we feel that universal design for learning is very much about learner agency and very much about the learners getting better at learning, getting new literacies, and really sorting their own futures out through these experiences that they have. So when it comes to video tools, you're going to be seeing some proper demos about Microsoft Clipchamp, and Dave's also going to take you through the flip camera in Microsoft Teams. I'm going to give you a really good sense about what these tools can do. So I'm not going to go too much into the universal design for learning because I know Dave will cover that when he looks at Flip later on. But just to really, as I said, show you how we're very interested in making sure that what we do links in with standard high-level pedagogy that's evidence-informed. And so when we're thinking about learner agency with video, immediately springs to mind when I'm thinking about the three aspects of universal design for learning, all the different ways in which video serves the learner in terms of increasing their creativity, thinking about the way in which customization of information is displayed, and the ability to illustrate through multiple media as well. It's also the ability, of course, for teachers and students to create their own videos in an assistive form to make sure they can access learning at any stage 24/7 wherever they are. So video, as we know, a massively useful educational tool, and it'd be great to have a look at what Microsoft are doing in that space in terms of serving that up to its customers, its education customers. And Dave and I have been working together for a long time with schools around video. We've seen an amazing amount of educators doing incredible things with video tools, whether that's using documentaries for things like storytelling, whether that's screencasting and doing explainer videos, something which happened obviously a lot during the COVID lockdown years. But even the more sort of creative side of things, such as making visualizations in response to art and literature or poetry. And of course, using video as an adaptive teaching strategy for those learners who perhaps may need video or may see video as being a better route to accessing course curriculum. Right, so when it comes to Clipchamp, some of you hopefully have had a little play with Clipchamp, have maybe come across Clipchamp. I just wanted to give you a sense today of all the powerful features that there are within it. It's sometimes seen as it is an intuitive video editor, quite simple and easy to use, but it's actually more fully featured than some people may realize. So I'm going to be going into some of the great tools that Clipchamp has and some of the features that your students can get their hands on, and very much ensuring as well that you get a sense of how Clipchamp can support things like screen recording, as well as some of the AI features such as text-to-speech and AI captioning as well. So I'm going to take you through a few of those. And one of the things that I love about Clipchamp as well is just how similar it is to a lot of other video editors in terms of the way it's laid out. So for me, when I look at Clipchamp, I'm looking at something which it's very similar in the sense that on the left-hand side, you have some of your key tools here, your ingest tools, the tools that allow you to bring in media and to put assets directly into your video timeline. We've also got in the middle there, we've got our preview monitor, so we can actually see what's happening within the timeline. And our editing, our graphical user interface timeline, we've got running along the bottom there. Again, very familiar with any of you that use other video editing applications. So that's the great thing about Clipchamp, is it's right there at your fingertips, and it's very intuitive and very straightforward and easy to use. On the right hand side, we've also got our adjustments. We've got the ability to use panels and tools to make more sort of fine-tuned adjustments to the clips that we have within our timeline. And so you've got, as I said, left side, you've got your asset-based tools. Right side, you've got your adjustment tools, and then in the middle is where you make the magic happen with all of your clips and your audio and your video tracks. But rather than me show you a static screen, let's actually go into Clipchamp and let's have a little play around and see some of the things that it can do when we're working at a student level. So I'm just going to pull up Clipchamp here on my screen. And what we're going to be doing is exploring a particular use case. So the use case I'm going to explore here is the idea of a teacher who's been studying beat poetry with their class. So it could be an English lit class, a language arts class, and the teacher's been looking at some of the 1950s, 60s beat poetry like Ginsberg or some of the work of Kerouac. And the idea is that the students themselves have had to put together a poem of their own, using some of the themes, using some of the topics that were prevalent amongst the beat poets, and they're now going to put that together with some visuals to try and represent the thematic imagery that you find in a lot of those poems and the poetry of that era. So some of this has already been done, but I'm going to be playing around and adding a few other bits and pieces into the mix. So let's pull up the video, and you can see here already that I've got a few clips here down on the timeline, and I've also got on the left hand side all of the different materials that I've ingested into this project. Now these are all videos that I've got, they're royalty and Creative Commons license free videos from Pexel. So I've got that at hand so I can use these videos in my work. And if you just look down at the bottom here, I've got my audio tracks. And then if I just scroll along, you can see that's the end of the timeline. And if I need to increase it, zoom in, so I've got more fine detail with the playhead, the white line here, I can, or I can zoom out on the side there so I can get a fuller sense of the entirety of my clips. And I can move the playhead to anywhere along the video, click down, and then I can listen to this back. So Dave, do let me know if you can't hear the sound, but it should be ready to play.
Places I can't name, but their eyes spark at the thought of horizons they'll split by morning. She tells me her name is Ray, her life packed in a duffel, thumbing rides from coast to coast. I see in her the same ache etched deep, a map of want, of leaving, of seeking. And me, I'm chasing.
You see there, I've already put together some nice visuals to go with this beat poem that's being created. What I'm going to do now is just import the last little bit of media to go into my beat poem video so we can see how easy it is to pull that information from my current files. So as you know, as I said earlier, the left-hand side gives us all the access to our assets or even to record and create our own. So I'm just going to click on my import media, and I'm going to pull in this roundabout video, which is in my project file. So I'm just going to open that up, and you should see that appear in a moment. It's just uploading that one item, and there it is. Roundabout has now appeared. And if I actually put my cursor over it, you can see that it scrubs through the video. So it actually shows me the content of the video as I leave my cursor over it. And that's the same here. If I just run over some of these other images, we can actually just get a quick preview of what's in each of the clips. So I'm just going to add that roundabout, just drag it onto the timeline here. And then once it's on there, I can start to trim it down. So I can just left click and pull and drag that over. And then I can also drag that, just trimming it from the edge using my left click, and just bring that to the end of the video.
And so I go, and so I go.
And so there we've got some nice images, we've got the poem itself, but what we could really do is some music to drive this underneath. So because it's a beat poem, what I thought I'd do is maybe use some jazz music, because that's the music that really drove the beat movement. So I'm going to go up to the left-hand side here to my music and special effects button, and this will give me a whole load of stock music and audio that I can use in my project. So I'm going to come up to the top there, just type in jazz, see what that comes up with, and it's going to pull in some stock music that I can use in my project. And I'm going to have a quick listen to this one. So just a preview there of this one called Zoom, 2 a.m. sorry. So that's got a nice sort of cool jazz feel. So I like that one, and I'm going to drag that down and create a brand new track at the bottom here. So that is now going to start that from about there. So it's going to start with the road.
Wheels hum, the rhythm of restless souls, down the spine of this great heathen.
And then what I might do is when the music kicks in is just have it kick in there on the beat. So let's see if that works.
On the spine of this great heaving beast,
that's nice.
The
So
road
just
is a
as it
pulse,
cuts,
a jazz riff under starlight.
So once I've got my music in there as well, you'll notice it's a bit too long for the track. So what I can do is I could probably come down to about here where we can see a natural break in the music. And I'm just going to make a cut. I'm just going to trim that down just so it finishes off the music there.
Hands gripping the wheel of the great unknown.
It should, hopefully, make a nice...
Hands gripping the wheel of the great unknown.
So you can see how easy it is to sort of trim and to cut and to split our tracks and to start moving things around within the timeline. So that's all really, really good. We could do lots of other things, like we can actually detach audio. So for instance, here on this one where we have the night road, I can right click on that, and if I go to more options, I can detach the audio. And that means I can pull that audio off and it will now appear here. And then that means that I can basically drag that onto a new track, that night road, and I can have it fading out just as the music kicks in here. So if I go up to my fade button on the right hand side and fade that out over 2 seconds, we should get a nice smooth connection as we come through.
The rhythm of restless souls down the spine of this great heaving beast.
So you can hear how the road sort of fades out just as the music kicks in there. So you can see that even though Clipchamp's got a relatively simplistic looking interface, it's actually got huge amounts of features packed into it for us to be able to do these. If you want to as well, we've got transitions too. If I come up to this one here and I go to the right hand side, we've got various filters and colors that we can adjust. Transitions on the left hand side here that allow me to just drag them on really, really quick and easy for our students, just to add transitions to the left and the right there. And then we can see this one fading through white.
Of a dream I once thought was somewhere ahead, just over the next state.
And then we can also even change things like color filters. We can turn the saturation up on these, make them a little bit brighter, turn it down, cool them, etc., etc. So you've got all of these lovely features available to you within that. What I could also do just to finish this one off is perhaps add a title. So if I go to my text tool and I just pick up something at the bottom here, you can see we've got some lovely templates. So I'm just going to pick up this one called Note, drag it on. Okay, and then we're going to call this Different Roads and just give it a little twist and then add some effects to that over here. I'm going to add a VHS effect so it looks like it's from an old movie, and then vaporize, which will give it an animation. Turn that intensity up a little bit, and let's play that opening section back.
Wheels hum, the rhythm of restless souls. Down the spine of this great heaving beast, the road is a pulse.
So there you go. That's just a very quick demo of some of the cool editing features that you've got within Clipchamp. We'll be coming back to Clipchamp again in a moment, but I'm just going to come out of it for a second and go back to our presentation here, because one of the things that also you have within Clipchamp along this left-hand side is these buttons, one of which is called Record and Create. And with the Record and Create buttons, that's where I can actually make content directly from within Clipchamp. So rather than just pulling clips together and editing them, I can actually create my own. So screen webcam and the screen functions there in purple, they're really fantastic for things like explainer demos, for screencasts, for doing presentations, students doing their own presentations. And students are very used to this idea of sort of picture in picture, having a person in the bottom right or bottom left corner from watching Twitch streamers and their own interest in YouTube, etc. And there's also one called Create AI Voiceovers from written text as well, which we'll have a quick look at towards the end. But I just want to show you just first of all what it's like to use the screen and camera tool. So here I'm going to select the screen and camera, and I'm going to choose a screen to record. Now this will be recording on a second monitor, so I have to select which of the windows or the screens that I would actually like my video to be capturing. And once I've decided to share that, it then goes into a 3, 2, 1, and I'm ready to begin my recording. So you can see there I'm presenting, and I will have behind me, once this finishes, the actual screen that I'm recording. So once I've stopped, it will then bring that, it'll give me a quick preview to show me what it looks like. And then once that's actually finished, it will then take me back into the editing suite of Clipchamp. And there you can see that it's actually created not one video, but two. Okay, so you've actually got the screen that you've captured, and you've got my little face as well, and it's automatically put myself into the bottom left hand corner. But because you can see it's on a separate video track, that does mean I've got the ability to size it, I can move it, I could change position of it. I've actually got a lot more control than just having it in that single place. So that's the wonderful thing about having it not just as one single video, but giving me that option by giving me the two videos and the picture-in-picture effect for it. So that is how you might use the screen and camera tool. And then of course, we've got the one underneath that in the record and create button, which is the webcam. And the great tool, the webcam tool is that you've actually got a teleprompter built into it as well. So here I am about to record a little bit of a Minecraft video, and I've got myself here, and I'm going to click on backdrop and choose a backdrop from this Minecraft game that I've been playing. And then once I've got that behind me, I'm probably ready. I can either choose whether to have myself in the bottom left-hand corner, or I could go to the bottom right-hand corner, or I can go back into the middle if I wish. And once I've actually chosen that, I might also then want to put my script into the teleprompter. And once that teleprompter is selected, I could just paste in my script into there, and that will be ready to go. I could even increase the speed of the teleprompter to make sure it fits my natural speaking rhythms. And then once I've hit that recording button, we're ready to go.
Every village starts with a vision. First, I scout the perfect location. I love choosing areas with natural features like rivers or hills.
And once I've stopped
Every village starts with a vision. First, I scout the perfect location.
It gives me a preview.
Areas with natural features like rivers or hills.
And if I'm happy with that, again, it will take me back into Clipchamp, where I can do my edits in the same way as I did before. So what you can see there is that when you're working with these record and create features, you've got different choices depending on the sort of work that you're doing, or your students will be doing, of course. And we want very much for this to be a student-driven thing. Now, there was one other one which we saw there, which was the text-to-speech AI tool. So I'm going to come out of this and go back into Clipchamp, and I'm going to show you now what Clipchamp can do using some of the AI tools. So let's come back to Clipchamp, and this time I'm going to go to my tourism unit of work project. And what I've got here, my use case, is going to be a teacher who just wants to tell the students using a video of a unit of work they're about to do in their social studies classes on tourism. So they're about to study tourism, they're about to study the impact of tourism, the effects of tourism, and the teacher wants to give them a bit of a engaging, motivational sense about what's to come in the unit of work that they're about to do. So this teacher's already put together some video of tourist hotspots, and has assembled that onto the timeline here. Okay, so we've got some nice images, but this particular teacher doesn't like the sound of their voice. So what they're going to do is they're going to put into their text of what they want to say in the video into the text to AI speech tool. So I'm going to come up to record and create here, and as you can see, we've got the ones that we previewed earlier: screen and camera, webcam, screen, but then I've also got this one called text to speech. So I'm just going to click on that, and then you can see there that the panel opens up on the right hand side, and it's ready for me to put in my text. But before I do that, what I can do is, first of all, I can actually choose which language the person who's going to be reading this is going to be reading it in. Obviously hugely important. And what I've also got is the choice of various different voices as well to read my text. So if we have a listen to Oliver, for instance, we can just click to hear this voice.
Choose from a variety of voices to help you create a story worth sharing.
Or I might choose Olivia and see if I prefer that voice.
Choose from a variety of voices to help you create a story worth sharing.
I quite like Olivia's voice. I think that's probably going to be the one that I need. So I'm going to put in the script that I would like Olivia to read. So there it is. The script is being put into the text there. So I've just copy and pasted that from a file I have outside of this. And I'm just going to ask Olivia to read it through and preview it to see if it's about right.
Have you ever thought about what happens when a place becomes a must-see tourist destination? Tourism can breathe life into local economies, creating jobs and putting once overlooked places on the map. But what happens when too many...
Hi, sorry, did someone call out there? Any questions? Okay, no problem. If you do have a question, please do shout out or pop it into the chat. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you've got. So having Olivia's just obviously read out, the AI has read out the text there. And of course, this might be really, really useful as well for some students who may not want to present or use their voice on the work that they're doing for whatever reasons that might be. It may be that they have a particular specific need that means that they can't or won't use the audio voiceover tool. So this provides them with a real assistive tool that they can use. So I'm just going to click on the save button here, and that will actually then save that AI audio file into my media assets, and it should actually place it onto the timeline as well. So we'll give it a moment, and there you are. It's now appearing underneath my visuals. So let's see to what extent that works.
Have you ever thought about what happens when a place becomes a must-see tourist destination? Tourism can breathe life into local economies, creating jobs and putting once overlooked places on the map. But what happens when too many people discover the same place? In this new unit, we'll explore the big questions. How does tourism shape economies and cultures? How can it be done sustainably? And what about the darker side of tourism, like exploitation and crime? Join us next semester as we dig deep into the world of tourism. Together, we'll uncover the opportunities and the trade-offs.
So you can see there, that's now provided this lovely voiceover, and I could then put maybe some title graphics in there. I could maybe round it off on the back of that, or even maybe put some music in as well. So that just shows you one of the AI tools within Clipchamp. There are other ones as well. If I go back to my original beat poem project from earlier, and I just open that back up again. One of the things that you may have noticed is this little button here just underneath the preview monitor, and that actually allows me to transcribe the video with AI to use auto captions. So what I'm going to do is transcribe this media, and it will then work its way through the audio track, unpick what's being said, and it will then immediately attach captioning, closed captioning onto the video for me. You'll also find that tool is available up here with the CC captions too. Okay, and once that's ready and done, it will appear here. So it's just currently rendering and transcribing it, and once that is complete, you will get closed captions appear on these videos. So as I said, huge amounts of different features here. And then the last thing that you would want to do is perhaps maybe put in a fade out at the end of the video or a fade in, and then you might want to export that. So just to finish off, I'm going to do a quick fade in, and at the end of the video, a quick fade out. Okay, there we go. Just tuck some of this up as well, just to finish off. And then the last thing I'm going to do is go to export. Now, if it finds any gaps in the video, any spaces where you've got any gaps between clips that maybe you haven't seen before, you can fix those. You can click those and it will actually close up those gaps and make some suggestions about where that might happen. If you're happy with it, you can continue anyway, and you can see here that I can start to export that video into my cloud files. And once it's actually made a copy within my account, my Microsoft account, it then gives me options to where I want to put it, whether I want to save to my computer or perhaps whether to export to social media as well. So as you can see, Clipchamp isn't just a, drag and drop a video editor with a few extra features on it. It is pretty got everything that your students would need to do to formulate some pretty effective video. So that's just a bit of a guide, a bit of a quick tour around some of the key features of Clipchamp. And if you want to go hunting them down, then obviously do experiment. Have a look through some of these features on the left-hand side. For instance, the text and the style text. Have a look at some of the stock video that you've got available to you, which you can use. These are all free assets that you can put into your video, and your students can as well as a whole library of stock images that you can search and use too. There are even graphics that you can just pull in and just add as free floating elements into your video. And they're just as easy as putting in and pulling out. You've even got Pusheen there as well, I've just noticed. But yeah, and if you want to make sure that all of your videos have a specific standard look and feel, there's even a brand kit that allows you to put together your own colors, your own use of fonts, and your own consistent elements to make sure that your videos have a certain look and feel each time. So if you haven't already explored Clipchamp within your education licenses, then have a try with it. See how it works. See how your students get on with it. But we find it to be a very intuitive and creative tool generally. So that is Clipchamp, and I'm just going to move on now. I'm just going to hand over the reins now to Dave, who's going to take you through some of the great things that you can do with Flip, and also bust a few myths around Flip as well. So Dave, I'm just going to stop my share if you want to take over the reins here.
All right, thanks a lot. And welcome everybody. I am really excited to share with you Flip. Let me pull up this, there we go. So Flip has changed, as you know, but we'll begin with a little bit about why we still use Flip in the classroom. Flip gives students a lot of choice to demonstrate their understanding and incorporates a lot of play. It's a super flexible video tool. It's real time. It's super accessible. It's embedded in Teams assignments. And I think you're going to find that it still has a lot of the same feel and love that it's always been given to students and teachers. Now, I know many people that might be on this call or might watch this video remember that what Flip was. Flip used to be a very open video tool that was very community-oriented, community building. In fact, they had a huge community that supported the application itself and engaged teachers through Microsoft. Some of these people on this image, Andy, Jornay, Feely, and many of you might remember them, know them well. They're still in the EdTech community. But when we think of Flip, I think we really think of a place that brought people together, especially during the pandemic, and changed the way that a lot of teachers taught and added a lot of multimodal features to the classroom. So what is it now? Well, now it is something very different. So now it is still the camera. We're going to go through some demos here. It is embedded in Teams assignments. So I'll just begin maybe at the home page of a team. But if you want to access Flip, Flip has now been, in many respects, the community that supported it and the communal aspects of it have been somewhat taken away. But the Flip camera and all the features still exists, and it is actually super accessible to students still. Here's a sample assignment that I did with some of my teachers. So when you click on an assignment that was given with Flip, you'll see not everyone turned it in, but I'm going to begin at the creation of the assignment. So you can create any assignment, and in any assignment, teachers can add a Flip video. So in the new button, you'll see now there's a Flip video recording asset to add to assignments. When I click on that, it's going to bring up the flip camera. I've got to turn off my camera here. Let's try again. It's going to bring up the flip camera. I think many of us are used to the fun and the elements the flip camera has. Now, when I'm making an assignment, I could record a video real quick that I could explain the assignment to students. If I want to, I could actually just record my screen. If I wanted to do an explainer video, I could record my screen and share that with the students. Great. So you can edit this, you can trim it, you can split it. So this is a great, real quick way to make a screen recording, add it to an assignment, and send that assignment to your students. Now on the student side, when they receive an assignment, so I'll flip over to a student account here. Let's say when they get this assignment, they have a very similar view. This would be the student view. I've already recorded a response, but if you ask the students to record a prompt, they, just like you, they'll click new. They'll click on the flip video for students, and they're going to get the ability to, as you can see, choose different backgrounds. I love this comic background. It's just fun to have. But they can choose from some static backgrounds. You can even upload your own background, so you can use your own background if you would like, right here. So the students have that ability to change that background. It's a super flexible tool. So this recording, the teacher and the student has full capability here. So you can add text, right? I can change the color of that text. I can even give that text a stroke if I like. Move that around. We can add some images if we would like to this. So here we are talking about the flip camera. If I want to, I might want this over here, but I want it to face me. I can flip that around so it faces me. So you have some flexibility with the images you use. One of my favorite features, though, would be this whiteboard. So if I'm doing an explainer video, I love the ability that Flip gives us to have this whiteboard. And I can make that whiteboard, bigger or smaller. I can actually move myself around here so I can, be in this side. And let's say I'm asking the students to share something about themselves. For example, I might share that something really important about me that you need to know is that I'm a twin. And we'll play a little game here for everybody. O'Day's colors are maroon and gold, so I'm going to stick with the maroon and gold theme. So something important for people to know is that I'm a twin. And I can, as I'm describing that, I can actually upload some photos of me as a child and my brother. So we can throw these images in here. I can design this as I like. If I want to, I can add a few stickers here that I'm not sure if they have a twin sticker. Let's see. Do they have a twin sticker? No, but I can throw in a happy cat if I wanted to, or any of these images that we like. I kind of just want to have the flip symbol here. So what do you think? You can go ahead and throw in the chat. Which one do you think I am? Do you think I am this one or this one? So am I left or right? Go ahead and throw it in the chat. Left or right? All right, not lots of people chatting. That's all right. So I am this one. There we go. Didn't see
Oh, you're on the
chats
right. Okay, right. Okay, I was going to go left as well. Miguel's gone left, and yeah, April is the keenest eyed, I think.
Am I left or am I right? What do you think? What are they saying, Phil? I can't see.
I'm going to go left, just because it's a trick.
It is a trick. Yes. I'm this one on the left. We were doing a some people think we, look like we have a Superman jaw. So we were doing the glasses, the Clark Kent Superman. And then, of course, we were born in 1977, and my sister had a Star Wars party for us. So am I on the left or the right? It's hard to say. Am I Darth Vader or am I a stormtrooper?
I'm going to go right.
Yep, you got it. That's me on the right there. So this is just to say that this flip video is very flexible. I could have been recording all of this, submitting this. Students can have just a lot of fun when making these images. They can add, they can add frames. If they want to. They can choose to, we have Thanksgiving coming up, so maybe I just make it a holiday theme, and I want to grab turkey and throw that in there because that's my twin brothers and my favorite holiday. It is actually, we really like Thanksgiving. Can just make that turkey flip around there or turn around. So again, this tool gives you a lot of tools for submission. If you want to, you can even make it just an audio only. So you'll see my video turned off. When I click audio, I can do audio only, make a podcast, and submit that podcast. We have lots of flexibility here with this tool. So far I've gone through, you can do backgrounds, we can do audio only, we can record the screen. And one of the other features that you've already seen is that it does have that teleprompter tool that Phil went over as well. Phil, are there any questions in the chat?
Yeah, so just got Alexander just says, is it possible to use these flip videos outside of the team's assignments? So that's a good one. And Dawn said that she's used Flip for cultural connections with classes from a different time zone. And as soon as Dawn said that, I just suddenly remembered probably about a decade ago now. There was something called Mystery Skype. When Microsoft had Skype, we're using Skype a lot in education, and they had something called Mystery Skype, where it would sort of open up the webcams and a connection with other schools across the world, and you would sort of quiz them about their cultures. So that just suddenly reminded me of that, interestingly. But yeah, Alexandra there says, is it possible to use these split videos outside of the team assignments? And Margarita says, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. What's the Margarita saying?
Yeah, Margarita's asked, is there a way for students to share their flip videos with each other?
Okay, this is great. I'll get into that. So the next piece is, where do these images live? Where do these videos live? I've made this assignment. These are adults in our building, so we're not showing any student data here. But once they submit an assignment, we'll go to tech demo. That's me. I've submitted this assignment. That's not a great cover image here of myself. But once it's submitted, I have Copilot for 365, so I'll show you that, but everybody has the ability to watch this in stream. So all of these images go out into stream, the videos go out into stream, and it gives you, the educator, the ability to share this with your classes. It's still within the walled garden of Microsoft, so you're not going to be able to share it outside without downloading it and uploading it to another feature, but we can have all of that interactivity and sharing that we once had in Flip just through Microsoft Stream. So to get there, I'm actually going to click this Copilot Summarize, because one of the things that Microsoft is doing is embedding their AI for 365 in a lot of their tools. So let's say you had a lot of students submitting long videos. Well, if you have my Copilot for 365, you'll see right here on the right, it's going to summarize everything I said and give little touch points where you can click and go right to that point in the video if you'd like to see that. In stream, in addition, you can actually leave comments. You can look at this transcript, and if it's a longer video, you can just click and go into the transcript you'd like to go to, but it gives you the ability to analyze the video. And to answer your question about how do you share it, I don't know if you're familiar on how to make playlists in Stream, but if you open up Microsoft Stream, you have the ability to make playlists. If you open up a flip assignment, you have all these different tools. You can open it up in Clipchamp and have that interface that we just went through to edit and add things to. But you can also make a playlist in Stream, and that playlist can be associated with any team that you have access to. And I'm using this Teams training tool, so, and I made this today. So if I want to, I can click on this um, this playlist, and I can add it to that playlist. And I'll show you what that looks like. But to give you an idea, right now I've added this same video twice. But let's say if I go back into that assignment, and I take another one of those videos, Mr. Brown's video. You can see I left some feedback for him. I haven't given him a grade, but I asked some of the faculty members to talk a little bit about UDL. Again, I can click that summarize button. It'll give me a summary of what he's said. But I can also then add that to the same playlist. And you'll see once I do that, I can view the playlist. And that playlist will have another video in it. You'll see there's Mr. Brown's video. So you can make this playlist, and you can share this playlist with your faculty or with your students or with your group. Just copy the link and share it with them. And they'll be able to do things like comment on the video. They'll be able to see each other's video, and you have like complete control over what videos get shared and which ones don't get shared. So instead of having that open forum, that open website that Flipgrid had, we now get to use this in Microsoft Stream, Microsoft Lists. And going through Microsoft Stream might be a whole nother webinar, but go ahead and dive in a little bit, maybe read some of the Microsoft Learn documents on it, but it's a pretty slick tool to use. Phil, we getting any more questions?
Not at the moment. Margarita's typing, but we're all good okay so far.
Is there anything else I should share, do you think?
No, I think it's a pretty comprehensive workflow. And I love how, we can see what's happening with Stream there, keeping it organized. That's fantastic.
Oh, good. I can turn my camera back on now that I'm here, and I will stop sharing, Phil, so
Okay.
you can pick up where we left off here.
Okay, Dave.
Well, actually,
So,
no, I have a few more slides, I think. Do you think you can share those, Phil, and I can tell you where to?
yeah, sure. I will pop those back up. So bear with me a second. Okay, Dave, can you see that okay? I'm just going to go into present mode, and
Yeah, perfect.
there we go. Do you want me to move forward?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So we did those features. Now, I want to ground this in universal design for learning. I know that this is really important to Learning Designer Pro and the work that Phil and I have been doing together. But when we want to create a classroom that is removing learning barriers, Flip is a great tool for this. Flip can be part of your UDL toolkit. It gives you the ability to offer students options to choose how they demonstrate their understanding. So maybe some students want to write. Maybe some students want to make something in Canva. Another student might use this flip camera to share and to talk or to share a video. It optimizes relevance and value and authenticity. We can have students share their stories like I did about being a twin. And all those fun elements, can nurture joy and play. I can just see students making those videos and just really getting a kick out of doing it with each other and really engaging. Go ahead, Phil. It also provides different ways of representing knowledge and information to students. So you're able to make those different videos as a teacher to maybe explain an assignment to students visually and with audio. And so we're not just using assignments in Teams, using the text in assignments in Teams to explain. Since it's right there in Teams, right there in assignments, you don't have to use a separate tool to make your video and then upload it. It's a way to connect prior knowledge to new learning by having students explain themselves and cultivate new meaning making. Go ahead and keep. And then this is great. It gives people different ways to express themselves. As we said, you can use those stickers. We can give them audio. They can use things to protect their own privacy. And and it gives all these different features for action expression. And then lastly, Phil, something that UDL 3.0 has been bringing up is the who of learning.
Yeah.
And I think getting back to that first slide about, what flip camera was, we have to remember that the core of this technology was designed by people who were trying to build community. They were trying to build a space where people talked about who they were, where the student and the student's background came to visibility in the classroom. I think for many people that have been in the classroom for a long time, that tools like this just didn't exist in the past. And so I think that flip camera, even though it's no longer in that open forum that Flipgrid was, it still retains, you can still see that the design elements that were meant to really create a space where we can foster belonging and we can foster community are still there. So that's what I have for you. I really love the new flip camera features. I think there's a lot to be said here, and these are some of the features that we went through. If you want to take a screenshot of this so you don't forget all of the different elements they have. And lastly, the camera is really great for metacognition. I think some of the samples we went through were good, but I want to just highlight that when students are learning, we want students to be thinking about what they're about to learn. We want them to think about, while they're learning, what they're struggling with. And we also really want to do stuff after learning. And the flip camera offers a very easy access for students to come and explain and connect to prior learning, for them to explain the barriers that they're experiencing or the learning they're experiencing while they're learning, and to really reflect upon their own efforts and the learning that they had after learning.
There is a question there from Cara about, is there a way to set a time limit, like they could previously make a 3-minute video and it will start recording in 3 minutes? Is that a feature?
That's not a feature yet. I've been reaching out internally to Microsoft to see if they have a plan to add that, because I do think one of the barriers here is that if you assign an assignment, you have to tell them to use that flip recording. There's still, unlike some other ones where you can put a Word document or you can give them a template. Right now, the flip video, you have to tell them, hey, click new and make a video, and they have a 10-minute limit. So I'm hoping that as this progresses, that they add more features, that when you make an assignment, you can put those limits on it. But from what I could tell at the moment, it's just, you can add a flip recording up to 10 minutes.
Cool. Okay, so thanks so much, Dave. It's so great to see that, a lot of people thought Flip had maybe gone, but it's not. It's still there. It's still massively featured, and it's got such a huge place in that formative assessment workflow and in any of the workflows that involve assignments, and really, putting the emphasis on the student and the student's voice and what they do and know. So fantastic tool there for teachers. So I hope that you've enjoyed what we've lined up for you this evening. What we try to do is just give you a sense of some of the features that are available within the Microsoft Video Workspace, within the education workspace, using video tools. And if you are interested in finding out a little bit more about our learning sessions, about our professional development sessions, please do get in touch with us. You can get in touch with us at info@learningdesignerpro.com. We will send you information after the session today, including a recording, so that you can access the work that we've talked about today as well. And if you're also interested in finding out a little bit about Universal Design for Learning as well, and the framework, if you don't already know about it, do please visit it at cast.org, and you will find everything that you need to know about Universal Design for Learning, including the new 3.0 framework as well, with some of those new design options that Dave mentioned there, which is more about the learner identity. It's a very exciting time for learning. So as I said, just put a few related courses on the right hand side there. And we've also got some new courses coming out around time saving for teachers with AI. Those are only 6 examples, but we have at least 18 individual ones, as well as our own custom courses too. So if you're interested at all in finding out about what we've talked about today, but within a more sort of relaxed, step-by-step learning environment, then of course, do please get in touch with us. And do please keep looking out for our webinars. We are pretty regular with those. We'd like to make sure that you're kept up to speed with everything that's happening in the world of Microsoft and education. So please do look out for them. We'll let you know as well when they come up too. But thank you ever so much for joining us. I know you've come from all around the world.
We have one tomorrow as well. If you're interested in attending, we have one on Affinity's Publisher 2. So if you're interested in learning about Affinity and Publisher 2, please join us tomorrow.
Thank you ever so much. Thank you, Laurie. Thank you, April. Thank you, Tricia, for the kind thoughts there. Margarita. Thank you, Alexander, for joining us, and Dawn, and Phil as well. So we'll stay around for the next few minutes if you've got any questions. But other than that, have a great rest of your day wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening. But have a great time.